If you have trouble forgiving, you need healing. I just shared with you that I'm still having trouble fully forgiving and pardoning my mother for the physical pain that she inflicted on me, because I am yet still dealing with physical consequences of what she did to me as a child. It's hard. That's my mother. The same way I'm carrying Alonzo is the same way she carried me. And it is hard for me to separate her being my mother from the pain that she inflicted on me. Lifelong pain that I have suffered from for north of 30 years. It's hard, y'all. So I'm not telling y'all anything that I'm not willing to do myself. I'm not telling y'all anything that I'm not striving to be and to do myself. This is hard. Okay? And like I said earlier, forgiveness isn't based on an apology or the acknowledgement of wrongdoing. So you're sitting waiting for that person to apologize. Forgive as though the apology is never coming. This is a heavy subject because the world is so cruel and so cold and so evil. There's so much that so many of us have suffered from at the hands of people that were just purely evil in their thoughts, purely evil in their actions. But there's still no excuse not to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to. When unforgiveness is reinforced, you better believe hatred is coming right behind it. Let me tell you. If you don't hear anything else from this message today, listen. If you are dabbling in unforgiveness, hatred is soon to follow. You cannot have feelings of unforgiveness and resentment towards someone and not hate them at some point. I hated my mother for years. My mother was a monster to me. I hated her. I wanted to kill her at one point. When I was a child and being beaten up all the time and having bruises and cuts all over my body, bleeding sometimes, I hated my mother and I wanted to kill her. It was that bad. And hatred came right on in there. And it took years. That hatred took root in my heart. And it took years for me to even be able to think of my mother as human, to be perfectly honest. And sometimes it's still a struggle. And this is not an indictment on my mother. It is what it is. She's still loved by God. Christ died for her the same way he died for me. Let's continue to pray for one another. I'm honest with you about what I'm struggling with because I want you to understand that there's no position that anybody can have in the kingdom or on this earth. There's no platform that anybody can have that absolves them of human stuff, human emotions, human struggles. For some people, forgiveness is easier. For some people, patience is easier. For some people, submission is easier. Now, it's easier for me to submit than it is for me to forgive, which is weird. Because there have often been times where I've had to submit to people that have mistreated me. Child. Alonzo, what we gonna do? What we gonna do, son? We gotta forgive. We have to.
We don't need permission to be who God calls